Mm-hmm.
Baby. Theo.
Yeah,
Good
good
boy.
boy.
Good boy.
Mm. Trying to
Look at the
find the
boy.
boy.
That's his little
That's
face.
his little face.
It's a little angry face.
Yeah, that's trying to capture that mood.
That's a great move. Okay.
So let's see what I can do. Hello, Salem. How are you? I'm okay. I'm really rusty. I've not been drawing regularly enough, so thought I would shake things up a little bit and just try and draw my cat a bunch. Oh, my, as in like quiet, like volume level quiet. The levels look okay. I might just be speaking quietly because it's like it's kind of late at night. I'm probably gonna be turning in. I'm quite tired. Let's see. I wonder if my gain might have been knocked down a little bit by accident. I'll just crank that up a little bit. Hopefully that's a little bit better. I have this idea um, watching another stream that had just kind of like ambient sound on. I was like, oh, I kind of like that. And I thought maybe that would work, like just having some like little meadow noises. So I'm kind of trying that out. I'm not sure. Not sure how. I'm doing this mostly as kind of a test to see how loud it is. I'm also trying not to think too much about the quality of what I'm drawing because it's mostly an exercise. And the thing with exercises is that they're not supposed to look good. Voice is sounding better? Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you for. It's always nice to have someone in chat providing some an extra set of ears, because you know when you go live, you never really know how it sounds until the stream is done. Yeah, I did. Oh, did I? I skipped over a page. These are my first attempts getting his angry face. And I was doing like some gesture stuff yesterday, or just I was trying to draw some poses and stuff, but just really feeling rusty and need to get back into drawing because we have some vet bills that we're going to need a little bit of extra income. Yeah, that's always kind of what gets me back on track, I think, and like starts to open up new things. Everyone's okay. We're still kind of figuring it out. Dale, who I am drawing, got some like intestinal problems, and it's just vets are just expensive. Like, you know, you're you have to send them for an ultrasound because like they had to try and figure out what was up, and even like the ultrasound was expensive, and even then, it didn't. It wasn't really conclusive. Like it could be a couple different things. Yeah, they really do be. They really do be like that. And you know, it's tough because like, you know, you want to find out what's wrong, and you want to do the treatment that's That's right. But like every time you bring them in, it's like it's so stressful on your poor little guy. And then, even when you spend the money, it might not actually give you the information or the treatment that you need. But anywho, so we were kind of looking at our budget, figuring out where we can, just kind of ease things off this month. And then I was like, okay, well, if I open up commissions and stuff and start my Patreon back up, then there'll be a little bit extra to work with. But I'd been taking a long, hard break. um, and I don't know. In a way, it's kind of good because it's a kick in the butt to get started again. Because sometimes when you're resting, I don't know if it's not. I don't know. Sometimes it's just hard to. Sometimes you're not actually resting, and then it just turns into procrastination, and then you're just feeling guilty about it all. And I'm much happier when I feel like I'm making something. So how's your stuff going? Because you were going to get back to streaming sometime soon, right?
Wow, you're so
Oh,
dominant.
thanks for the gift sub. I didn't hear the notification, but that might be because I have my headphones on and they get routed through a different thing. But that's very kind, as always. And hello, Blue. Welcome. Hope you're having a good night. I feel very I'm trying to fight the feeling of self-consciousness doing this kind of stuff cuz like um I'm not confident in my like rendering of things. So this is mostly an exercise to help with the cartooning to just like try and figure out some shapes and stuff and how things work. Uh And to do that, you just kind of make some like bad drawings and just kind of go through the motions and make some things that don't work. And that's kind of what's going on here. I don't know. Making some horrendous cats. So I hope this is decent TV. I thought maybe I thought the nature sounds might help just make it this kind of zen kind of situation. But I would like to get better at drawing animals. And this felt like the place to start. I have lots of cute photos of my cats. So I knew I had material to work with. Anyway, that's a ramble. That's a ramble and a half. This stuff has been good in the middle of a move. Oh, you're still in the move. Okay, I think you had mentioned that last time we had a chance to chat. So move is still ongoing. But mid-June, that's coming up. That's exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing the notification when you're streaming. Yeah, it's also been a very long time since I've just drawn like this, and part of what was making it hard to come back was feeling stuck in a box of like if I was drawing, it had to be stuff for the comic, or it had to be, art requests or drawings of cute bots, and it was hard to get excited for that, and so I need to rediscover the enthusiasm for making art. First one will probably be a bit rough. Yeah, I mean that's the way it's got to go, right? You got to make some kind of rough stuff to kind of figure out what's working, what's not. It's that's just how she go. That's what I'm doing here. And far better for me to practice it on uh, my cats than somebody else's who might be wanting to pay me to draw their children. So this is honestly, this feels like a muscle exercise. Like my muscles feel stiff and cold, and this is starting to give me a feeling of getting something back. Oh, thanks, Salem. That is kind of you to say. When I was a kid, I never used to draw humans. I would only draw cartoon cats and mice and dogs. They didn't really look like those animals. Really, I was copying my brother and how he drew those animals. So it was kind of like uh, like a copy of a copy, and you get more artifacts. Starts to look less and less like the thing. Only elves, huh? Which, like, those are humans just with pointy ears. That's pretty funny. I do like lizards, cats, wolves, foxes, ferrets. I was a big fan of ferrets. I kind of switched up my drawing setup here too, and I think things are showing up a little better in terms of like the pencils and stuff. At least on my preview. So not sure how it looks when it looks on like mobile or something, but hopefully it looks okay. This drawing I'm doing right now is actually my other cat, who is currently staying with our friends because she's a little gremlin. And the big thing that we have to do for Dale right now is make sure that he's eating, because he just kind of just kind of stopped eating, which was very scary. He is eating now, but he's very he's very particular about how he eats, and will often like start eating and then just walk away. And like he'll walk away for like a couple hours. And that's all well and good when it was like just Dale in the house. But since we got Sif, she loves to eat. She just like eats for fun, and will eat everything, and like has no respect for Dale's personal space. And like he'll be sitting there eating. She'll just walk up and start eating his food, and he just kind of looks up like what is happening, and then he's kind of put off by that, and but he's very submissive, and he'll just walk away. So Sif will just eat his food. So so our friends, when we're like, okay, we need to make sure that if we leave the food out, that Dale is going to eat it, and we need to make sure that it is in fact Dale who's eating it. And we can't trust that with Sif around. So she is at our friend's place and just having a grand old time. But we get to see her tomorrow. As Dale's doing better, and it's been almost a week that Sif has been away, and I don't want to have to go through like another reintegration of them, because it took them a while to not be like hissing at each other, or well, mostly it was Dale. Dale's kind of grumpy. The cats are very particular, and everyone's very unique. You never know what you're gonna get. And like Sif, when we met her at the uh oh, sorry, I got distracted because the nature suddenly stopped. When we met her at the we were she was like from a rescue, but she was like on display visiting the store where we normally get our cat food from. And so we saw her, and she was just like chilling. She was having a little lie down in her cage, and like we went in and said hi, and she just kind of rolled over, and like did some like pressed her face up against our hands, and it was just very cute and just seemed super chill. And we were like, oh well, this will be a great friend for Dale. Look how chill she is. Um, little did we know that like the only thing probably that could tire Sif out was being a guest at a pet store and having lots of humans come by all the time. And apparently she would just wreaked havoc in that store. Like it was constantly escaping and knocking things over and finding strange places to get into. So we kind of um, we kind of misconstrued her temperament, but she's absolutely wonderful. Just a total chaos gremlin, though. But we do love her, and we miss her. So I'm looking forward to having her back, but also not sure how we're going to manage in terms of the feeding because we still need to keep a really close eye on Dale and how much he's eating. So we're probably going to have to put Sif like in the basement while we feed Dale. See, the problem is that Dale doesn't eat his food right away. So we'd have to keep Sif like in the basement for like half the day. And I just feel bad doing that. But that's kind of the only way that we can guarantee because Dale will take, like 3 hours to decide to finally sit down and eat, which is also not great because he eats primarily, well, no, he eats exclusively wet food because he doesn't have any teeth. So, like, Dale, your wet food is sitting there, like, getting gross, but that seems to be the only way you like to eat it, is when it's been out for, like, an hour or two. And we've been trying to train them that, like, they need to eat when the food is out, and if they stop eating, then we put the food away. Yes, the mush. The mush. But as it stands right now, we just want Dale to eat however he's going to eat. Because when he don't eat, that's bad news. I don't want to have to bring him into the pet hospital again. I was looking on YouTube for like examples of people drawing pets and stuff, and I came across this very good artist. Her name is her channel name is like It's Tuna or something. Anyway, she goes by Tuna, and she was doing some I believe it was acrylic paintings of pets. And they were incredible, like very striking, like high contrast, um, interesting lighting, that sort of thing. And it just reminded me of, it made me very aware, rather, of how I don't understand painting. And I'd like to learn how to do it properly sometime, but it's it doesn't give me the instant gratification of doing sketches where you can have something like come together like so quickly. But like when you're painting, you kind of have to know what the thing is that you're making. You got to know what it looks like before you start. And I'm just too reactive. I don't really know what the image is going to be. I have to get the marks down on there first and then respond to the marks on the paper. I remember in high school we had to do some project where we couldn't use standard colors to paint things. Don't remember the exact specifications. One of my classmates wound up painting their cat in bright purple. Yeah. Well, that's exactly the sort of thing. It's like, okay, yeah, you look at either you give yourself like a specifically limited palette and then work within that palette. And sometimes just trying to make things cohesive, you'll end up making really interesting choices for how to. It's like, well, I know looking at this reference or whatever that this thing is this color. So, oftentimes, if you're like substituting out like black for something, and it's like, yeah, you know what? All the blacks in this are going to be more kind of red or they're going to be more purple. It gives you some really interesting results. And that is another thing I would like to improve upon is just like color, like expressive color in general. Because it doesn't come naturally to me, so I gotta work hard at kind of training that skill up. I really want to figure out like the snout. Exactly. Yeah, it's like anyone can do it. Anyone can do a thing. You just gotta spend the time, and it might take you longer than somebody who has like a natural affinity for it, but you'll get there. I do kind of like how this expression came out. It's not really the expression that she was making in that photo. This looks a bit more menacing, and she kind of looks more sultry in the photo. And that's the other thing I kind of want to. I want to get a closer match to, like, if I have a photo of something that I'm trying to recreate, I want to be able to match it more closely. Because I find when I'm working on a project of some kind that where I'm trying to make something look like, either an actual person or an actual person, I guess, it's usually that. I can usually get to something acceptable almost by happy coincidence, and so it's really not. And it takes a while to get to that point, and it's not very efficient. So I'd like to more dependably be able to be like, okay, I know that this needs to look like this, and I can do these things to make it look like that. The other thing is fur. Like I just trying to make fur look natural is difficult for me because I'm so used to just working with really like strong hard lines, and fur is not really that. It looks weird, I think, when I do it that way. And a pencil lets me cheat, right? Because I can kind of shade and do scratchy things and approximate. So I'm kind of doing this on easy mode right now, just because I need to take it easy. Need to be gentle with myself because I just haven't been doing this in a while. I'm happy with how this. So like what I'm drawing on is just like this laptop stand, which I got for work, and then I liked it so much at work that I was like, I'm just bringing this home, and I'm using it with my drawing tablet because it's like very sturdy. You can get like a good amount of height on it, and it's got these like 2 points of manipulation. And it also kind of creates a better setup for setting up the camera. So I'm pretty happy about how all this looks, how all this feels rather. Because the thing that I always struggled with especially drawing traditional and filming it for the stream is that I have like a long torso, and so the desk is like very far down. So I have to be, and like the way I like to draw is to be, I like to be a certain proximity to what I'm drawing. When I'm being a real gremlin, I'm just like, my head's like on the table basically. And so this allows me to raise it up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong and I'm on your shoulder. You raise me up to bear the neck and bear. Trying to find more pictures because I've just been kind of drawing the same pictures over and over and over again. And I kind of want something different, but you know what? Maybe I'll just. It's I don't know. It's still useful to keep on doing the same one. Try and learn some things each time. I am kind of digging these nature sounds. And I'm being a little naughty, and I am borrowing this from a YouTube channel. But tomorrow I'm taking a little handheld recorder thing when we go over to our friend's place. And I'm just going to try recording their backyard. And I'm going to see, I'm just going to basically stick the recorder in like their hammock or whatever, or maybe stick it in like in their tree. And I know there will be some traffic sounds. So hopefully there won't be too many, but maybe that won't be too bad either. Be realistic. But yeah, then they'll just be, and if that doesn't quite work, then there are like some parks. I might take it out to the park and just hang out in the park for a while. There are some like national parks and stuff that are within driving distance. I don't really have a means to get there right now, but making Dale look very effeminate in this rendition. But yeah, if the traffic sounds are too distracting, then I might see if I can get out to a park. But I have a feeling it's not going to be too bad, but we'll see. And failing that, the channel this is from does have like well, that's what this is. So this is a channel that does royalty, and this particular track is royalty free. So I'm not being that bad. In fact, I don't think I'm actually being bad at all. I'm just being a little bit lazy. But they do have packs available for purchase. But I couldn't find this one, and I really like. I want this one. Seems like a good balance of like bird song and just kind of ambiance. And I'm not sure. And I was like, well, I like it. I always like it better when I can make my own thing. So we'll see. And I don't like using YouTube because I'm afraid at some point it's gonna play an ad. Although it seems like they must have like demonetized this or something, because it played an ad at the beginning, and then it hasn't played one since. So that's kind of nice. I could get an ad blocker. It's too lazy. This is a bit of a pattern with me. And I can hear when this one loops. Like I think it just looped just now. But I don't really mind it too much, to be perfectly honest. Okay, I think I'll probably call it there, so I can just kind of like wind down and oh, with me talking over it, it's hard to tell when it loops. So yeah. That's kind of the hope. The question will be is if it's still not too bad, like when I'm not talking. So I guess we started. This is kind of where we started in terms of how the sketches were going, and like Pretty. This was the first one that I started with, and it was like pretty rough. And then these were the next ones, and then we went here. So I feel like we started getting started feeling some things out. So I think it was a successful exercise, at least partially. So from there to there to there. I learned a couple things, but definitely feeling like the muscles, the drawing muscles needed it, and my eyes needed it too to like um, do the exercise of like looking up, looking down, connecting what I'm looking at to what I'm drawing. That's always like there's a particular feeling to that. But yeah, always good to see you, Salem. Um, I am planning on streaming more, uh, and I'm still trying to figure out what are the best times to do so, because it's just like fitting something into the schedule in a way that is sustainable has just always been a challenge. Um, and then figuring out what sort of streams to do. So I think maybe doing some more sketchbooky type stuff is kind of nice. Like a kind of, if I can get out of the headspace of worrying about the quality of what I'm drawing and kind of just zone out a little bit, that's not too bad. I can see that working, and I can see that being a vibe that like maybe people would be into. But I'll have a look back at this and kind of get a sense of the vibe. But vibe felt all right to me. And with this new camera setup, I didn't feel too. Oftentimes, what happens when I've got the camera set up like this, I feel very like constrained because I'm worried about the thing staying in frame. And then I'm not able to kind of like let go and just kind of, you know, uh, get into sketchy mode and not be so self-conscious. But this way, the camera is much higher, so it's out of my way. And sitting on the nice thing about this laptop stand too is that it is quite heavy. It's got some weight to it, and so it stays put fairly well. So I'm not worried about focusing on a part of the drawing that's going to be out of frame. So that's a plus. So yeah, hopefully see you again soon. Looking forward to your stream starting up, Salem. And thanks again for the gift sub. You're a super generous person, and I very much appreciate that generosity. It means a lot. Okay, I'm going to go to the outro here. Thanks for hanging out. And we'll see you on the next one, which will hopefully be soon. Fingers crossed. You too. Have a good night. Have a good night, y'all. Bye bye. Hey, beep, 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 beep. Hey, beep, 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 beep.